This is live drone footage of the war that Russia started, from the most intense frontline in the east. These Ukrainian soldiers have just sent out targets to their field unit outside Pokrovsk, a few miles away.
So you can see that our colleagues starting to work. You can see the explosion.
Moments later, we see the strike on the screen. A Russian soldier runs to check on a fellow soldier who's been hit. Every day, more are killed on both sides in a war that's already taken hundreds of thousands of lives. Swathes of Ukrainian land have been reduced to rubble as the country pushes back against Russia's invasion. Kozak has seen ceasefire hopes dashed over and over again. But this week, with direct talks between Russia and Ukraine set to resume for the first time in 3 years, there's a sliver of optimism.
Russia was the first one to push for these talks. They have refused direct contact since 2022, but now we've had some success destroying their rear positions and supply lines. Russia doesn't have the same strength it had before, and so I think something could come from these talks.
Through fields that would have been growing mustard crops if not for the war, we drive to the frontline unit. In an ever-evolving conflict, a key threat here is now from fiber optic drones that can't be detected or neutralized. Hidden from Russian view, we're shown a French Caesar gun. Dozens so far deployed in Ukraine. Faster and more effective, soldiers say, than the Soviet-era weapons that are overwhelmingly in use on Ukrainian front lines. This is land that has been fiercely fought over, fiercely contested for years now. And we are at a stage where there is the biggest glimmer of hope so far that we could be at the beginning of the end. But when you're out here on the front lines, you realize how much it's actually going to take for the fighting to stop. Especially since the idea of Ukraine conceding territory in exchange for peace is a non-starter here.
We don't believe that if we give some territory, they will stop. You know, this is in a couple of years they will return and start over. So it's not. I think we need to act and with weapons, not the words, because I don't think diplomacy will solve this problem.
As we travel through embattled regions, the cost that Ukraine has paid to defend its land is visible everywhere. Memorials to fallen soldiers stand at the entry to the Donetsk region. And here, at the central square of Zaporizhia in the south. 2 of 4 Ukrainian regions Russia has said it wants in exchange for a peace deal. Fresh graves in every cemetery tell of a generation of men killed fighting on the front. Yana Stepanenka's son Vladislav was 22. She's brought his favorite treats, a cup of hot chocolate and a chocolate roll. Vladislav, a drone operator, was killed in combat in February this year. Just 5 days after his baby sister was born. He was Yana's only son, a big brother who Nicole says always had her back.
People are dying here and in Russia, so I hope the war ends. But knowing Putin, he will go on and on. Whatever happens, Zaporizhia must stay in Ukraine. I hope my son would not have died in vain.
Ukrainians like Yana fear that if they concede land now, then in the future, their independence, the very existence of their nation, could be a threat. Yogita Limaye, BBC News, Zaporizhia.